last night, oof, a double win. The Blazers lost, and Scoot had a career-high 39 points.
How about Scoot? Just can't miss all of a sudden? Where the hell did that come from? Just lighting it up from three?
Riding a heater.
Look, it was a positive and negative night because I don't know. Have we gotten a response on Klingon yet? Who got hurt twice in the game?
Ankle injury.
Anything.
Okay, so we don't know the severity.
It was an ankle,
though?
not a knee.
That's good.
There's been no update this morning. Chauncey, all he said in postgame, because I watched it because I was up way too late yesterday. He said ankle injury. No further information as of right now.
Because that's good. When he went down, it looked like he fell on the same knee that he had previously hurt and is now wearing a brace the size of an offensive lineman on. And I thought, well, this is just lovely that our rookie 7-footer fell on that knee again. So ankle injury probably a little encouraging there. Outside of that injury news, you couldn't have asked for a better night. It's a loss to a really bad team in the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn is terrible.
Brooklyn was coming in.
They're terrible.
I think they had lost 15 of 20.
I forgot Ben Simmons was still in the NBA, to be honest with you. And I'm like, what?
5
Ben
in a
Simmons.
row, like 8 of 9.
And you ended up losing by 18. So,
They couldn't
just
miss.
well done. So, yeah, great loss because that's one of those that you could probably chalk up as a win if you're a Blazer fan. Thanks for Anthony Simons to no showing.
Broke the tiebreaker.
Led to the loss. I greatly appreciate that. And that tiebreaker might be very important down the road. Like, you're never going to overreact too much to one game, but we have shared our thoughts a million times on Scoot and where he is at. I actually dove into some of the numbers yesterday because he was off to this hot start last night. And I'm like, where are his numbers at on the season? And it was a little jarring to look compared to his rookie year. Now, I know some of that was inflated by the last, 30 or so games where we sat everybody and we were openly tanking and he got to play 35 minutes a night. And I'm sure that point in the season will come eventually. I mean, his numbers from year 1 to year 2 are down literally across the board. Points, rebounds, assists, minutes, field goal percentage, 3-point percent, like everything is down across the board.
He's playing less minutes.
He is playing fewer minutes this year than he played as a rookie. Now, again, I think that was largely because of the end of the year. And it's not big. He was averaging almost 29 minutes a game as a rookie. He's down to 26 minutes this year.
He played more than Ant last night. How about that?
Wonderful development, Blazers. Love to see guys getting better. But, hey, you get a random night like this, it doesn't mean much in the grand scheme of things because he's shooting horribly from 3, although that did up his percentage on the season from 28% to 34%. In one game, he went up 6% on the season.
What's the league average? I should look up the league average for that. That would be hilarious if he went from sub 30 and in one game got to like the league average. So where you could point to him and be like, well, I mean, he's shooting league average from 3. What do you want from him?
League average from 3-point percentage, 24-25. 35%, just shy of 36%.
He's like right at league average now because of one game.
One game.
I love stats.
He made like 17 of them last night, it felt like.
I want to carry over two things. Two things from last night that I wanted to carry over. The first was Jason Quick, who wrote a really good story on Ant. I think we highlighted that on the show, but I saw that he had a post on Twitter. I felt really bad for my Aussie family. They went to a game before they flew out of America, and it was the Nets game, and I went, you're going to a bad game. I just want to tell you now, bad game.
Like, crikey, there's no one here. Where are the people?
No one's making a shot. And I felt bad, but I at least told them, hey, the good news is there's such a bad team that you might be able to just move around and see different vantage points. Jason Quick posted, this might be the most sparsed out crowd of a Blazer game I can remember. And so I think this has finally reached the point where we've talked about people watching on television. People are not going to games.
Nor should they. It's not worth it.
And, like, kudos to those people. Stop wasting your money.
Yes.
Just do literally anything else or just watch the game at home.
Yes.
So I saw that. The other one was Anthony Simons was not good last night. There's no way around it, right? He had his typical every 2 to 3 games plays bad, and then drops a bunch of points. That's kind of what he is. 3 of 12, 2 of 6 from 3. He finished with 11.
I'd like to tip my cap to him because they might have won the game if he showed up and played a decent one last night. So that helped the efforts. Thank you, Amp.
$100 million contract. You could say how bad the team is, but there should be whatever.
Yeah.
I actually don't want to highlight him. What are we to make of Deandre Ayton as a basketball player anymore? And, like, seriously, I don't know who they're going to give that contract to.
Who is going to take that?
I mean, I call him the turnstile for a reason.
He quit last night.
He is
right. He just didn't get. He was 1 for 4.
Yep. Chauncey benched him. He had a run there for like 4 minutes. He was like, "Dude, get out!" He sat
played
him down.
24 minutes. Yeah. Chris Murray played basically the same amount of minutes. Channing Frye, former Blazer legend,
Yes.
Drove a par 4 at our Langdon Golf Tournament years ago.
Yes, he did.
Channing Frye basically tweeted about him without naming him. And I don't blame any former player for not wanting to put a name on anything. But Channing Frye was like, there's a dude getting minutes that doesn't effing deserve it, thinks it, just jokes around when he's in there. And everybody concludes it's obvious who he's talking about. It's the guy on the $100 and what million contract that is not an impact player in any way, playing 24 minutes, shooting 1 of 4.
$132 million contract is the number. And if
you
you were curious how much his salary is this year and how much he's taking home, it's north of $34 million. Imagine making $34 million and having it be fully guaranteed, and whatever you do will not impact that in any way, shape, or form.
I don't think he had joy last night.
I don't think he had any joy. This has been who he's been for, really at the end of Phoenix, and now you get a glimpse of. It's funny how we've both traded centers to each other, and Phoenix has quickly learned why we were all like, can we get rid of Nurkic? And now they're sitting him down, and they don't want anything to do with him anymore.
I don't know if they were excited about that from the get.
They probably weren't, but I think they were excited to get out of Ayton, and then Blazer fans are like, hey, former number 1 overall pick, a lot of potential there. Look at the numbers. They're not that bad. This is the reason why sometimes we can fall in love with players and stat lines is because the majority of NBA fans don't watch NBA basketball. They watch their team play. And so the thought of Deandre Ayton was a good idea. He's a number 1 pick. He's a 7-foot center. You look at the numbers that he's put up. He's been in an NBA Finals. You're like, man, this guy's pretty good. And then you get to watch him on a night in and night out basis. And you quickly realize how little effort that there is out there. And it's infuriating. And it's another one of those reasons why sometimes I have a hard time turning on and watching games. And I get that I don't really know how you handle it. Do you sit him down? You can't trade him. Nobody's going to take that contract right now unless you're attaching like a first-round pick with it to get rid of it. Because why would anybody sign up to pay him $35 million for next season?
How would that look for them?
It would look terrible. So what do we get instead? We get to watch him give 0 Fs the entire game, show 0 effort the entire game, and make a mockery of the organization and the NBA. It's an absolute joke at this point.
He's got 1 more year guaranteed on the deal. And by the way, it's most obvious thing ever. In the next game, he's probably going to have like 18 and 11, slightly better effort. This is kind of what he does.
But when you watch him, go see how many of his rebounds he's actually competing for and boxing a guy out versus how many are just
kind of bounce to him.
He's the only guy standing down there because somebody jacked up a 3 and they're already running back to the other end.
There was a clip from their game when we were there in Dallas last Thursday. Was that the Dallas game? Something like that, late last week.
Yeah.
Somebody put a clip together, and it was like a 45-second highlight in which Dallas missed 3 or 4 shots and got 3 or 4 offensive rebounds. And it was like, just watch Deandre Ayton on this play. And it's him standing in the paint. His guy's 3 feet away. He's not out on him. He's not guarding anybody. Just watching the shot, standing there. Guards would cut behind him to grab the offensive rebound, kick it back out. It happened like 3 or 4 times in one possession for Dallas, and it epitomizes the effort that he shows.
I'm watching the end of this game last night. I got home in time to watch the fourth quarter. I see what's happening, and I'm like, oh, they're going to lose this game by double digits. There's no doubt. And I saw the quick post. I don't know what they're saying about television ratings. There's no way these ratings have gone up that much. This team's not that watchable. And I'm like, it's kind of crazy to say it. They don't really have, like, Tumani had a good night last night.
He was awesome last night.
He's been awesome. Shaden's got, I think, 5 or 6 straight games of 20+, so that's encouraging.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're doing with their point guard. They've got 3 starting centers on their team, one of which they just drafted. It's like every egg of the basket is literally in what happens in the draft. Mm-hmm. And the fact that they're in that position is kind of depressing because you can be bad, but you got to be bad with showing like, hey, this piece and that piece and this all changes. And I don't feel like that right now. And I don't think most of the fan base feels that way either with the ticket sales, with the way people are watching and following this team. I just think that's the reality, and that's the sad part.